Hello students, this is a quick kind of review video that goes into a little bit more detail on how I write the consonants. Now, one of the things that students are struggling with is they feel more like they're drawing than writing, and they're right. You are drawing. You will be drawing these consonants and drawing these Sanskrit scripts, this lipi, until you find yourself writing. And when you're writing it, you'll write pretty quickly. But right now, you just need to focus on developing the muscle memory of how to write these letters. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to write in black on the front of this. I'm going to write all of the consonants. Then I'm going to go and somewhat quickly go through how I draw each of the consonants and then refer back to the board here. So right off the bat, I'm going to draw, and I'm going to try to draw these in a somewhat nice way, but then I'll draw them kind of a lot bigger. I'm going to draw them in a manner that I would normally write them, and then I'll go back and kind of show you the details. So we start, and we're going to go with the vowels. So, long, a, I. I'm going to go E, long E, or this is your I. Then we go the long I, like that. It's got a little other squiggle on it. I'm not terribly happy with that one. Let's go back and do this again. So to go, I go squiggle I, and then that's that tail there. So that's a long I. So A-E-I-I. Then we have oo, and then oo, the long oo, 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 A-E-I-O-U, and then we have O, O. So notice that's like an there's a long line down, a line up, and ow. Ow, ow. And I'm going to leave off the re and re just because it's just too complicated at this point. Now we're going to go to the straight consonants. So we start with the ka group. Ka. Hold on, didn't get the right edge of my marker there. So ka. You'll notice I start at the beginning of the dot right there, and then I draw the line. Then ka. Now, I try to keep those really close together because it really looks like you have two components, like you have a ra and a va. When they're really close together like that, that's a ka. So ka, ka, and then I'm going to go ga. With ga, go straight for the top, like that little nub right there, little club foot, ga. And then we're going to have it aspirated, which is ga, ga, aspirated ga, line all the way across the top. And then you have the nasal na. Now that na looks an awful lot like a da. So when you're writing it, be careful that you're basically making a da, which goes like this. Hold on. This dyslexia is difficult for me. These are things I can do really fast, but it's hard to do slowly. So da, and that na. That na is what tells you that it's a na. And it's not just a straight up duh. Okay, so we've got the kas. Then we go down to the palatal, cha. Now watch where I start with cha. I start all the way at the edge, and I come and make a little loop, and then I come up, and that's cha. Trying to be left-handed here. Now then, for the cha, it's like these swirls, and then a little line like that. In practice, you kind of won't write that little line there. You'll just make it real quick. So cha, cha, and then this is almost the exact opposite of the ja, or of the cha, but remember here, I'm doing ja, so it comes out like that, and like that. See how similar that is to the cha? And that's the ja. Then, just to screw with you, I know that looks like an I, but it's a ja. Now, if you look, you can see that this cha, and you have a pattern there, and cha, so it's almost like you're doing a lot of loops. So I like to think that in each set, you actually have a lot of similar patterns. So on this one, when you get to your na, it's like a backward C that's out like that and like that. So it's like cha, ja, and na have really similar patterns to them. Now we're going to come down and do our retroflexes. This is our ta era. Again, lefty. So ta is open like that. So here we're going to go ta. It's a full circle. Right there is a full circle. After the ta, now we're going to get to that weird da. So it's just like up here, but without that little dot. Then we're going to go da, which is closed. It's like you're doing this, but putting a little circle down there, looking right down there. And then finally, the very elegant and beautiful retroflex rana, which I just make a little nubbin and then the line. So ta 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 na. Now we're going to get to the lovely tas. So ta, how beautiful. Ta, it almost looks like a T to me. Then when you get to do your ta, the aspirated one, start by thinking about that circle at the top and then almost complete a ya. It looks like a ya in many ways, but with that little dot right there. So ta ta da da. And then we have da, not to be confused with here. It's all the way down and it's not a closed loop, it's open. And then you'll have your da, the aspirated da. And I like to start right up here, make the da, then come up, down, and draw that line. Remember, that stays open. Ta, da, da, da. And then the very simple, out, and then a little nubbin, up and down. Or you can also start with a little nubbin and come back and go like that. But the important thing is you get that little nubbin at the end. The technical term, nubbin. All right, finally, we get to the labials. These are where you're right at pa, ba, 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 ma. You're right at your lips. So you go pa. I start right there, come up pa. Then I go pa. Has a little elegance to it. Or you can kind of think of it like you're doing a pa and you're just putting another little tail on there. Pa, pa, ba, ba. And then we get to ba. Not to be confused with a va. I make it just like a va and I put a line on it. Then I'm doing ba, aspirated ba. Here, remember you're keeping that line open. Really stress that loop to get the ba. And then finally, ma. Very easy. The ma, it's happy. It looks like a ma. But notice how close it is to the ma. Now, we have the semi vowels. So here we go. We start with ya. Ya, very elegant. But remember, like, it looks like a ta, but it's open. Just one nice, easy line. And ra, the aggressive ra, ra. So I do two lines there, line at the top, and the very languid la. All kind of one, you never have to pick up your pen. And finally, the. Now, the last set are the shas. So sha, I make a little line, I put a little two under it, I go sha, and then I go sha. That's like you're making a pa, but you put that line right there. Sha. And then finally, the beautiful sa. Not to be confused with ma. Notice there's a hook there. It's almost like there's like a little line that goes like that, and you go like that. So think of it as like a box with a little line right there. So sha, sha, la, ba. And you also have the anuswara, which is a little dot that can go up here, and the visarga, which are the two little dots, the aha that has an external breath. And, you know, I like just for good measure, let's put up the final one, ha. So that is your basic alphabet and Devanagari. One thing I think that really helps is practicing things. Now, by practicing, I think you need to just develop the muscle memory. So one thing that helps is drawing them really big. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do these kind of on the big side. So starting with a vowel. And I want you to notice where I start. I start my line here, and I make this little kind of backward 3. Then I make a line and down and down. Now watch how I do it with the long Similar. And here, because I think these are easy to learn together, I'm going to go with this, which what's that? That's right? Well, then I put another line, so that's long and I take another line and go like that, and that's O. And finally, again, just like we had before, we go one line, two line. So look at the patterns. Each time you start your marker or your pen right there, you make the 3, and then the T, the 3, and then the T, and then the line, so that's and then the 3, and then the line, and that's O, and then the 3, and then the line, and that's ow. Now, for our initial ones, we also have this guy, which I always write backward, and sorry. So that's just E. And if you want to make it right, you go and you put the little tail of it, and that's I. Now, did I write that in reverse again? Yep. So for some of us, we can always get these things a little bit wrong, but I recognize them when I see them. So what I need to do, knowing that I have this dyslexia problem, is I need to remember long line first. But the important thing is start, long line, down, short line in, over the top. A. So that's a short E. This is I. And I'll have some mercy on you. So we have short A, long A, making the 3, line, second club, making the 3, line, second club, O with a flag on top, making the 3, second line, ow, flags, 2 flags. A, like that, long one first, then the short one, long one first, then the short one with a thing on the top. Sorry, for I forgot to put the important thing up. The flag is what makes the difference. So short A, long I. What other vowels do we have? Well, we still have E, or what we call I. I start at the top, squiggle all the way down, and a little loop. So on this, start at the top, little line, line at the top, E. Short I, long I. A, O, ow, A, E. And our final one is oo. So I'll usually on oo, I start and I go like that, and then I put that, and then I go like va, cha. That was my terrible handwriting, but uvacha. So if I'm continuing, I need to make long oo. I'm going to go, I do start there, oo, line. And that's long oo, short oo. So if we're looking back over here, we're looking at our vowels. A, I, E, oo, oo, o, ow. So those are our vowels. You've got a good sense of your vowels. So now we're going to go to the consonants. I'm going to go one at a time, and I'm going to show you a couple little tricks. So we're going to start with the ka varga. Ka is fun. I put my dot right there. That's going to be the center of the syllable. I go like that. Then I bring a line, 3 strokes, and over. Ka. One of the ways you can really help yourself is practice drawing it big, like that. Or you can be like really pronounced on it, like that. Sometimes, in the way it's printed, it's really closely connected to that line there. Other times, it'll like kind of like this and be up almost like that. But either way, you're always seeing ka. Now, what really helped me when I was first doing this is I would write it big, and then I would write it little. Writing it little, and then I would get economical. like the smaller I would get, and then suddenly I would find where I put my pen, like everything just, I'm writing it smaller and smaller, smaller, and I would really essentialize what's the thing I'm really seeing. And what is the thing that you're really seeing in this? What's the big marker line? Isn't that T? What you're really deep down seeing when you're reading is this. So that's what you're seeing. Notice that T part, that over line, and the vertical and the horizontal line, that's common with lots and lots of Sanskrit letters. So we started with the ka. From the ka, we're going to move on. So in the ka varga, the ka class, you have ka, pa, ga, ga, na. See how that goes? And the ka class. This is from the back of your throat. Ka. So the first thing I wrote was ka. Start dot at the center, make the circle, then make the T. For the ka, I make a thing that's almost like a small ra, and then I put the va right there. Let's do it big. The important thing is getting the line across the top and making sure these are really close. These shouldn't touch, but if they do, that's all right. Then you get down there and you practice doing it small. 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 Small, as the kids say. Small. Really small. So there's your ka. Ka, ka, ga, ga. Now we're in ga. I start at the top. I come all the way down and I make the little nubbin. The important thing here is the nubbin. That's what you're really looking at. Your key thing here, again, remember what I was saying before? See the ta. There's the ta. But the thing you really want to focus on is the green part, the ga. That's your key aspect. That's what makes the ga the ga. So, we have ka, ka, ga with a little nubbin. We also have ga and na. So up here, ka, ka, ga with the nubbin, and then ga, and then na. I did these I wanted to write these all for a very specific reason. I want you to look at these patterns. So now we have ga. Aspirated G-H. Ga. Now, you might get confused, because what does this also look like? What's that one? Well, that's duh. That's not what we're doing. So here, it's important that you keep that line up here. Now, like I was saying, if you're looking at your T, vertical line, horizontal line, I reverse those, I understand. This is what makes it ga. That's your characteristic pattern right there. Now over here, I have na. Is it this? No, it's this. The dot is essential. Now I wrote those kind of fast, but now watch when I do it kind of slow. So I just focus on drawing slowly. Draw it slowly. So down, back, and around, dot, line. Down, back, and around, tail, line. So see, there are so many kind of various ways you can do it, but what is the essential thing that you're seeing? So you see this, that's, you're going to ignore. This is similar to the duh, but whereas that is duh, this with the dot makes it na. Ka, ka, ga, ga, na, like we did on the first day. So, what I need is a self-erasing chalkboard. Wouldn't that be a delight? Yeah, I'm sure they make them electronically, but hey, it's kind of fun to write. All right, so we're back here. We did a, I, e, ow, ow, ow. Ka, ga, na. Cha, na. So these are the cha class. You say cha, like chat, if I'm going to a chat room. Or if I'm going to Indian food for an appetizer, I get chat. Or I can have chai to drink, which just means tea. Now, if someone says chai tea to you, slap them, because they're basically saying tea. Chai tea is a silly phrase. So when I'm doing the chas, I start and I go cha. So if you notice, I start at the edge, I come in, I make a little loop, I come up, and I go like that. So cha. Then, when I have to make the aspirated cha, it's all about the swirls. Then a line and the cha. Now, I often write this pretty fast, just like this. Sometimes I'll just write it really fast, and I won't even connect it, and it'll just look like that. But what you're really trying to do is you're trying to get this full swirl, that loop, and then up, then the line, and like that. So when you're looking at it, this is the thing you're not seeing, okay? I keep doing these in different colors. That's the thing you're not seeing. When you see it, though, that's the characteristic. That's what makes it a cha, okay? So now we're going to do ja. Now take a second. Take a second on ja. Don't sleep on ja. Remember this? Cha. Do you see how I started and I came in? Here, I start at the bottom, I come out, and I come up. So, what am I really looking at? You're ignoring this. What's the characteristic thing you're really seeing? You're seeing this. That's what makes it ja. It's almost an inverse of the cha. And if you kind of look at it, you can kind of like, if I'm being fanciful, there's a J. It's not that hard to go. Think of it like that, ja. Actually, that looks a little like Arabic. So that's the ja. So because Sanskrit works in this way, we've got ja, and what's the next one going to be? It's going to be an aspirated ja. Now, this one is hard to draw. This is how I do it. I start at the top, and I basically make an E. Like on the I. Well, we say E, but we would say I. Then I make a little line over, and then a line down, and then a line on the top. So again, what are you paying attention to? You're not paying attention to this. This, stupid, forget that. You're actually not even reading this. When your eyes track along, the things you're looking at are not the black parts. So it's like that. It's an I and a line. That's the shape you're looking for. So it's like you're writing a short E, and then line across, up and down, right there. That's your ja. Cha, cha, ja, ja. And what is our final na here? To make things just so delightful, it's like this. It's na. So cha, cha, ja, ja, na, na, the same place. So when you're looking at that, what's the thing you're forgetting? You're ignoring this. What's the thing you are not forgetting? This. So that's your na. Now, notice I said, what is the essential part? That for cha, this for ja, and this for the retroflex na. So you see those patterns? See how similar they are? Now look when I put those vertical lines and horizontal lines. See how the patterns come together? Cha, ja, ja. I left the cha out, but and even in this cha, if you look here, I mean, really look at it. When you're looking at it, you can kind of see that resembles these. There are patterns throughout each one of these classes of consonants. So And back over. I'm gonna flip the board over again. Flipping the board over again. Flip, 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 flip the board again. Flip, 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 flip the board again. Cha, 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 na. A, e, oo, o, ow. Ka, ka, ga, ga, na. Cha, cha, ja, ja, na. Look at that ka pattern. Look at the way the loops work. They're similar. Look at that cha and that ja, how they're almost a reverse of one another. Look at the swirliness there and how it almost looks like a combination of the two. Look at how that na looks similar to the ja. So cha cha ja ja na. Now we're moving into the retroflexes, the pa class. So how do you do the retroflex? How do you make the retroflex sound? You put your tongue on the top of the roof of your mouth. Ta 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 na, ta 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 na, ta 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 na. And if you want to do an offensive Indian accent, you say, "May I see your ticket, please?" And you say ticket, and you are imitating that kind of classic racist Indian accent. Let me see your ticket, please. Let me see your ticket, please. Let me see, my head already boggles. Let me see your ticket, please. Ticket, 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 ticket. If you start your ta and ticket, ta, ticket. Okay, enough of my goofy Indian accent. So we have ta. Start at the top, down. That's your ta. Ta with a little dot under. Retroflex. Then we aspirate it. Ta. The important thing here is to make the circle. It's a circle. Ta ta da da na. Then you have da. And I have a trick for you, remember this. Now, if there was a dot right there, it would be na. Like here it's da. And finally, we have the retroflex da, that is da, which is comes all the way down just like everything else, but it makes a little circle. So big circle, little circle. And that's da. So ta ta da da. And then finally, we have one of the most elegant letters around, na. It's just lovely. That na just makes me happy when I look at it. So let's get this ugly English lippy off of here, this Angrezi lippy. Get rid of that. Let's have some Sanskrit lippy. So when I do the top, I start right at the top, and I come down and I leave it open. Over the top. Come down, leave it open. Over the top. If I write it really small, which really kind of helps, practice writing it really small. Practice writing it really small. Practice writing it really big. But it's that open hook. That's what gets you there. Now, after you've been practicing that for a minute, you're going to do ta, aspirated. Fill in that circle. So you're doing just like your ta before, but you're filling the circle. One way I used to remember this, and this isn't a good way to write, but it's the way I used to write it when I was practicing, is I would go like this and then go like that. To make it clear that it's a line and then it's that half circle. And then I would also practice doing a line and like that. And there are some versions of Sanskrit writing, there are some versions of Sanskrit writing that look closer to this. But what you're really doing is you're once again ignoring the top. And you can even kind of ignore this part. But what you're paying attention to is this and this. That's what makes the difference. So we're coming over here and we're going to do da. Now I have a trick on this. Remember, if you do the same thing and you put that there, that's not. So you don't want that. That's a no bueno. You don't have that there. So here, what you do is think of a Hindi word. I know, a Hindi word. What do ladies wear? Saris. Now you're used to saying that, sorry. But it's sari in Hindi, which I can't remember if it's a long A or not, but it would be spelled like this. Sari. Sari. So that's a da. So it's a ra and a da. It's a ra that sounds like a da. So this is D, or D. Sari. Sari. So it's just you come down like that, you bring it around. Almost looks a little like a 5. Think of it this way. Come down from the top, straight, back, around, and over. Down, back, around, and over. The snake comes out of its hole, it goes back around that way, and then it takes a big swing that way. Sari. If you're writing it small, writing it small, writing it small, writing it small. And then finally, you have this guy. Again, imagine you've got that stick right there. This isn't important. What is important? The loopy guy, and then it makes a little circle at the end. There you go, a dot. And then the na, nobody has trouble with na. It's just, well, maybe I do. Just a little thing like that. Start and do a little like a U, like in English, and then put a stick straight down and write across. 1 line, 2 line, 3 lines. 3 lines. And that is how we do the retroflex class, the Kavarga. So, as we go back to review real quick, I flip it around. Flip, 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 flip. Wow! Looking forward. Ta, ta, da, da, na. All right, now we are in the home stretch. I remember when I was learning Sanskrit originally, this was the hardest for me to draw because we don't have these sounds the same way. We don't think about them the same way. Then probably this one, then probably this, then this, and then the dental ones, the TUs, the TU class. Those were always the easiest for me. They just kind of make sense. And one of the things that you find when you teach other people this script is that different people get hung up on different things. Some people get hung up on the sus. Some people really get screwed up on the buzz and the buzz. Some people can just never write a la for some reason. And for other people, things just click. So you just have to kind of know yourself in this. So we're in the ta class. So the beautiful ta. Notice I start right there and I go up. So ta. Start at the bottom, kind of a loop, and then tight up on the stick. So on the bottom, tight, up on the stick. And if I'm drawing it little, sometimes it helps to go little, getting littler. Can you see that? Yeah. Getting littler, getting littler. But you want 1, 2, 3. So it's a 2-stroke letter. 1 stroke, 2 stroke. If you're ignoring the part, which I keep telling you to do, what are you really looking at? What's the real signifier here? You got that. What are you really looking for? You're looking for this. That part, that hook to the left. That is what makes a ta, a ta. Next one, we have ta. I have always loved this one. Now, don't confuse it with a ya. It's basically a ya with a circle on it. So if you have ya, there's ya. And if you want to turn it into a ta, it's basically you just make a circle right there. So in many ways on this one, I think you're actually ignoring the ya part. There's my black mark. It's kind of like you got this, you got this. What you're really looking for though, is you're looking for this. That's what makes a ta. And it's like a ya with an extra circle there. So draw it big. 2. Start at that center to the left. Make your circle. Then you come down and follow through just like you're making a ya. So you're drawing a little circle. And then you're attaching a ya to it. Sometimes these will be written like this. With like a big thing. But there's always the line all the way across the top. So maybe this. Sometimes it'll be written where the line touches there. Sometimes it'll be written where there's a little gap. But the important thing is the green part there. All right, so ta and ta. Where's my eraser go? Okay. Well, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting through it all. We're getting through it all today. Ta 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 da 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 da. Okay. So ta, ta, and then the elegant, the beautiful. Oh, duh. Now, it's not like that. It has to have the tail on. This would be aspirated duh. This is duh. With just like a dental duh, duh, duh. Middle of your palate. Da 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 ta 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 ta. Actually, it's with your teeth. Ta 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 ta. So here, easy. Go big, languid, big stroke, follow through line. Big, languid, follow through line. If I'm doing it small, what are you really looking at here? What are you really looking for to tell you it's a duh? You're ignoring this. You're looking at this. And the most important part is this. Ooh, that little circle down there. You want to pay attention to that more than anything. All right, ta ta da da, and then we have aspirated da. Now it's not this. What would that be? Yell it out loud! Yell it out loud! That's a guh. So this is the duh. And this one here, what are we ignoring? As I keep saying, what are we ignoring? We're ignoring this. What are we paying attention to? This. That's what makes a duh a duh. So, duh. Big one, duh. Open line. I draw it small. Get the muscle memory. Draw it big, draw it small. You'll get there. Watch it get all weird as you just write it over and over again. But this will all get stuck in your head the more you do it. You write it over and over again, and then you read it. And then finally, we have just a beautiful nub. Nub's great. Nubbin at the end, boom, out. So I generally go nubbin in line. Nubbin in line. So again, what are we ignoring? We're ignoring that part. What are we paying attention to? Nubbin, line. Straight line, nubbin, line, line. Nubbin, straight line, line, line. And there you have the nub. So there, we're through the dentals. We're almost done. We have like a few more little things to do. We're getting very close. We're getting very close. We're getting very close. Getting very close. All right. Here. E, oo, o, ka, ga, na, cha, ja, na, ta, da, na, ta, da, na. And finally, the pause, the labia from your lips. So, pa, boom. And it looks like a P. If you're doing it in a big way, start at the top, big up, big down, over. One stroke. If you're doing it little, one stroke. Do not confuse it with ya. So what you really want to focus is straight line down, straight line up, straight line down, over. Whereas ya is kind of loopy and languid. So that's how you can tell they're different. You can tell they're different by that part and that part. Does it have a loop to it, or does it stay single? We go here, we have pa. Now, I must express, I love pa. Aspirated pa. I start at the top, I come down, boom, over. 3 strokes. Start at the top of the line, where you haven't written your line. Get a little ridgy thing. It looks like half an infinity symbol or something. And then boom, and then the T. So again, what are we really ignoring and what are we looking for? We are ignoring this, and we are paying attention to our essential pattern, which is like that. See? That's pa. Aspirated pa. Now, we're getting to the fun stuff. That these last 3 ones are just so delightful. I want to do them real fast together because I enjoy them so much. Ba. You make it just like a va. You put a line through it. Boom. Ba. Ba. Aspirated ba. Just like that. And then like that, like that. The line's empty. Start at the top, all the way to the left, come down, circle. Make sure you really make that circle. Pick your pen up. 1, 2, 3. Ba. And then finally, ma. Why am I doing these together? Because ba and ma are so close. It's just that one is open and one is closed. So think of it this way. This is what we're ignoring. Boop, 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 boop. This is what we're ignoring. This is ba, and this is ma. The difference is closing up at the top. Pa, ba, 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 ma. So, pa, pa, ba, pa, ma. A, e, u, o, or o, ow. Ka, 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 na. Cha, 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 na. Ta, 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 na. Ta, ta, da, ta, na. And finally, pa, pa, ba, pa, ma. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters left. These have always been easier letters for me. I don't know, they're just stuck in my head. Some people struggle with them, so we're going to do them. These first 4 are called the semi vowels, and they do look really similar. So, first one is ya. You've seen me do ya a lot. Ya, you just start at the top, languid around, it looks like a ya. It looks like a Y. If I was writing Y, if I was like yours, or maybe yours, looks like a ya. So ya, easy. Then ra. Ra is violent. Ya is like sexy. It's like sexy. It's like a ta, but without the blah, 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 blah. It's just sexy, lovely. It's just delightful. It's fun to do. Ra is like, ra. So what I want you to do here, and ra, line down, line, angle, line top. Ra. And for me, I swear that looks like a ra to me in one way or another. Hold on, I have to tighten my lungi. None of you saw that today I was teaching in a lungi because you didn't see below my waist. So ra. Then we have la. La is just beautiful. La is just, you're all the way out at the end. There's no nubbin here. What am I doing? No nubbin. Just start, boom. Just 2 little humps. You never have to pick your pen up. If you're writing it small. See? Just small. And then finally, ba. Ba. And for some reason, ba looks right to me. Now it's not ba. Nope, not ba. It's va. And when you're looking at that, like I keep telling you, what are the things you ignore? If you're ignoring this, what is it that you see that makes it a va? It's that circle. You're really looking for that little circle to the left there, and not confusing it with ba that has the line on it. Ya, ra, la, ba. Going back, once again, flip it around. E, u, o, ow. Ka, ga, na. Cha, na. Ta, da, na. Ta, da, na. Pa, ma. Ya, ra, la, va. And finally, the last one's the sibilants and ha. Sibilants, it sounds like an S. So there's a couple of different ways that these are printed, but sha, I find the easiest way is like this. So I draw a line, I make a little 2, like a Roman 2, or a Sanskrit 2 for that matter. We haven't done numbers yet. Draw a straight line, 1 across. When I'm drawing it small, it's really, you got to get that 2. That 2 is the point here. Now, one of the little thing that you might notice is, you know how I keep putting things up in black? I mean, like, ignore this. Well, there's another reason for that. So here is the thing you're ignoring, right? But here is the thing you're paying attention to. If you were to have a conjunct consonant, which we'll be getting to and we are working on now in class, this is the important part, that part. So if I was to write shloka, and shloka means a verse, I would go, oh, there's the little 2. Oh, I know that's a sha. And what's that? Oh, that's that la part. And then I go, oh, and then ka, shloka. Shloka is a meter and it's a type of verse. And like the Bhagavad Gita is in the shloka meter, the shloka verses. Okay, so sha. What else do we have? We have sha. Now, this looks like a pa. It's formed exactly like a pa. You just slap that on there, and that turns it into sha. Whereas this is sha. So Shiva. That's Shiva. That's a sha. And then finally we have sa. The last sa. Here, the important thing is to see that you go one line down, little hook, in like that, in like that. Sometimes when it's printed, it'll look more like this. Now, your confusion here is you got to always remember you're looking at, these are the things you're ignoring. Okay? So here is sa, here is ma, and here is ba. Sa, ma, ba. So you need to pay attention to these things. Also, these little lines are going to be what you would see in a conjunct consonant. So really quick, I'm going to give you a last one before I do pa. And here is a word for you. Smriti. There's your sa. There's your ma. There's your re. And there's T with a medial vowel and a line at top. So you see that that's the sa part and that's the ma part. So that's how you start creating conjunct consonants. Our final letter of the day is this one. Pa. It took me a long time to figure this one out. Start at the top before you draw the line. Do a little squiggle over like that. Then a big like this. So you can get ornate with it. But the important thing to see is that there's several parts. There's the line that you're ignoring. Remember, these are the things we ignore. Then we have this part. And then we have this part. So when you see it in color, there's 3 parts. And you go 1, 2, 3. Ha. Draw it small. And you just need to do this until you your arm just naturally does it. Just like you don't think about how you're drawing English letters when you're writing by any means. Okay. One last time, flipping the board around. A, e, e, oo, o, ow, k, g, na, ch, j, na, pa, da, na, ta, da, na, pa, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, ha. If I was a pundit, I'd be I, o, na, da, na, na, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, ha. And just to throw it in for good measure, one that we learned today, that little guy. Terribly written. I will give you an example of it though. I'm going to give you your little bonus piece for the day. Your bonus piece is the medial vowels that I'm going to do with Pisha. And that's one that I struggle to write. So what I like to do with Pisha is I start with a little circle and I come around and I come up like that. So little circle, big circle, back and up. What is the thing I'm ignoring? So I keep doing me. What are we ignoring here? We're ignoring this part. What are we paying attention to? Starting here with a little tail even, coming out, in, over, up. The snake goes around in a circle and then it goes up and around again and up and hey, and there we go. So little guy, up and over and hey, and there we go. So that's ksha, from which we get the ksha and kshatriya. Now, real quick. There we go. Sha. That, see, I already get flummoxed on this one. I should have picked an easier one. Oh, we'll leave that. Okay. Sha. That's ksha. Long A. You know what? We're gonna stop on that one. I'm just gonna, it's too hard for me to do with the marker. Let's do this beautiful pa. Beautiful pa. So pa, so that's with a long A. Pa. Pa, short A, pa, long A. One flag at the top. Pe. Medial vowel. That's E. Pe. Then two flags at the top. Pi. Pi. Te. Pi. Now, that is po. Draw your pa. One line down, one flag up. Po. How? One line over, two flags up. Pow. So those are the medial vowels. What are the last ones we need to do? We have hooking over to the right, key. So that's the short I. Hooking over to the left, long E. Did I get them all? How about A? Oh, nope, I didn't. I always kind of, I don't know why. I just can never remember the right order of the vowels. Finally, we have poo and poo. So it's like a right side up oo, and a long one is an upside down oo. And here is your bonus word for the day, because I want to show you one last little trick with oo. Little nubbin. Well, that's terrible. No, come on. Something hanging out there. Okay. Well, let's do this bad boy in black because it's nice and quick. G U R U. Guru. When it comes to the oos, when you want to write like this, ru, or like this, ru, long oo, there's a different way of writing it. You'll get used to this because you'll see it in print. It hooks up like that. So the little oo becomes that hook there. The big oo is a swirly guy like that. So those are ru. And then, well, also, all right, here's another one. There's sha, shra, and this is kind of, you'll see this often. And then, and then a shrew. There's a couple different ways to do it. Let's forget about that. I don't want to bring that in. That's another thing that I got all torqued thinking about something else. Okay, but anyway, so this was a quick run through on our consonants and vowels. So one more time with me. E, oo, o, ka, na. Look, it's like a ra and a va together. Look at the swirls. Note the ga has a line attached, and the na there has the dot. Cha, 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 na. The cha, the ja, and the na have very similar shapes. Ta, ta, da, da, na. Again here, it's all building off these three that look really similar. It's about the curves, and you should be looking at open, closed circle, closed little circle. Ta, ta, da, ta, na. Again here, ta and da, they have a similarity. And even the ta and the da have a similarity in sort of their shape. But remember on the da that it's an empty line here, and on the ta, it's a closed little circle. Pa, pa, ba, pa, ma. Here, ba and ma. Line is closed, different than sa. Pa, and this funny infinity thing. It almost looks like a paw with a little tail on it. Pa, 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 ma. Finally, ya, ra, la, va. Sexy ra, angry ra, sexy la. Big nice thought. Then sha like Shiva, sha like Purusha, and sa like Sanita. And finally, ha. There's your ha. Kind of looks like a 5 to me. So, e, oo, o, ow, cup, ga, na, chuck, ja, na, tut, da, na, tut, da, na, pa, ba, ma, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, ha. You're done! Swaha! Offered into the fire. I hope that was helpful. Little review. It's always best to go over things over and over again. The more you do a thing, the more you learn about a thing. And I will also show you, you miss that I was in a doty all day long. Hey, see you later. Bye.